I don't really give a shit what happens today, this week, this month. I think about it over years. I think like, if I do what I'm doing, am I going to have great results? Am I have results I'd be proud of, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now?
Same.
This is Derek Moneyberg. Today I'm sitting with Gilbert Burns. Gilbert's a 3-time world champion in jiu-jitsu. He's one of the baddest men alive training jiu-jitsu. And for those that have been living under a rock or don't have ESPN Plus, Gilbert's ranked number 2 in the 170-pound weight division at UFC right now. He's one of the top-ranked UFC fighters. You literally beat up some of the toughest dudes in the world. Not only are you like one of the best guys at UFC, but like not an exaggeration, you really beat up some of the toughest dudes in the world in MMA overall.
And that's my goal. I for sure, my number one professional goal right now is to become a UFC champion. Got super close, but lost the title fight, worked to get in another one. And my second goal is that, like exactly what you said, whenever I'm done, I want to look at that ranking, look at the guys that I fought at my time and say, yeah, I fought the best guys. And I want to beat most of them. I know it's hard to beat every single one, but I want to be able to say I fought the best guys in my division when I was around. That's one of my goals. Whenever I'm done, 2 goals: become a UFC world champion and fought the best guys in my division.
You'd fight Kamaru Usman for the title, yeah?
Yes, I fought February last year.
How'd it go?
I lost. Today I understand it was a very good experience, a lot of learning, like crazy lessons that I never thought I would kind of go through all that, but it was a very good fight. I had a lot of emotional things going to the fight. First of all, because we were training partners for like a couple of years, and my first time going for a title fight, so it was a lot of learning. But I lost. I started very aggressive. That was one of the strategy, and I landed a couple of good punches, hurt him a couple of times, but then got very emotional. Kind of went out a little bit on the strategy and fought a little over aggressive and ended up losing by TKO in the 3rd round. But like I said, learned like so much that looking back right now, I can say I'm very grateful for all the lessons. There was a couple great lessons that I learned about myself and like why did I got angry. I had to dig deep and kind of answer a couple questions to get a better understanding of myself. And I'm thankful for the journey.
The reason I ask you that is not to ask something uncomfortable, but I tell my clients all the time that like, if you're going to be great at anything, if you're going to be, a top performer in anything, you're going to have setbacks.
Yes.
You're going to have, moments that they don't go your way, Yeah. In business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're investing in stocks, if you're a professional fighter, there are going to be setbacks in everything that you're going to be great. You're going to have those things. And some guys give up,
And make you better, right?
Yeah.
In the stocks, you do a lot of stocks.
I do quite a bit of stocks.
Yeah.
So.
You lost a couple of money there a couple of times, right? You make money, but...
You want me to talk about? You want to see me cry?
Yeah. What?
I told you I'm half a Jew. Do you want me to see?
Yeah.
My worst days in the stock market, I lose about $1.5 million in a day, 1.7 maybe. But my best days in the stock market, I make about $2.5 million in a day. So, I don't get. You know what makes me pretty damn great with stocks is one of the same things that makes you a great fighter. Is that when other people they're getting scared, they're getting panicked, I'm still calm. I can look at the thing. I'm very calm.
You've been there a couple of times, so.
I mean, every day.
You've been there a couple of times.
Up $500,000, down $500,000, up a little more, down a little less, and but that calmness. You understand exactly what I mean. Yes. Like even I grew up around violent things, and I was not a pro fighter like you, but I grew up with violence in the house and violence outside the house and violence at school. And
you grew up here?
I grew up in Chicago. So, when I was a teenager, I had to pull the knife out of my own shoulder. And I just, had those type of circumstances, and like, I've been held at gunpoint several times, once in Africa, a couple times in Chicago. And those were good learning lessons. You said something about learning about yourself, and like I was always calm, even in those type of things. Like I was always calm,
We
and in my head I was like, all right, what
we
do we
make the
do?
ability right,
How do we
right?
fix this shit? What's the best thing to do with this
Yes.
situation?
And the
And
thing is exploding now, and you're like,
when something happens in the stock market, I don't feel nothing about it.
no,
I'm just,
yes,
you understand you had tougher situations in your life, and that I'm very. It don't if my emotions don't get worked up,
that's it.
If I'm having a good day, I'm like, oh, that's good, and if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, all right, but my mood range is like here, and not, it's not like I'm like, oh yay,
Yeah.
but I'm also not.
Not,
I'm never
yeah,
scared or panicked. I
same.
think, all right, do you own the right things? Should you change your investments? No, you have good investments. It's going to work out for this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. All right, then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But a key thing, and I think you'll understand. I think you'll agree with this fully. Like, I don't really give a shit what happens today, this week, this month. I think about it over years. I think like,
Yes,
if I do what I'm doing, am I going to have great results? Am I have results I'd be proud of, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now?
same,
So I think about my life that way when I'm making decisions. I don't need results right now. Right now,
same, same. It's kind of planting a seed. I'm just gonna keep planting, and the mentality is the same. You gotta constantly work, and then I know sometimes it's gonna take a while, but I'm just gonna keep on doing. And one thing that I do, like on the same thing that you're saying, I get freaking obsessed with the small little things. I just gotta keep that habit, keep the. It's not even a habit, but I gotta keep that routine. I gotta stay busy. I gotta be doing. Whenever it's too relaxed, it's uncomfortable. Whenever it's too it's uncomfortable, right?
if I didn't have some problems, I go do
Yeah,
more until I have
yeah.
some
I
problems in
gotta
my
make
life.
a new problem. You gotta make new problems, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying too on that ability to be under pressure. You be under pressure, but you're staying calm, make the right decisions, and that help a lot on my personal life too. Whenever my wife is panic, is crazy. Oh, look at little one. I have 2 kids, Pedro and Joshua. Joshua, the little one, he crazy, like a lot of energy. Sometimes he get hurt, he got cut up, and my wife, he's cut up, and I say, yeah, relax, look, let me take a look. And then sometimes the way she acts make it even worse for the kid because, and
You
I
think
said, no, no,
something
no, no.
bad happened? Yeah.
Just live, baby, live. Pedro, Joshua, come here, look, let me take a look. And then it's nasty, like, yeah, relax, you're going to the hospital, it's not gonna happen. Give me a little paper, and we have the ability on the freaking chaos just to make the right decision. I'm already, okay, I'm gonna get the car, I'm gonna go here, I think the hospital is closer, blah, 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 blah. Because of that, because that daily routine and running and then roller coaster and then fighting, then I think that helps on that, right?
There's a lot of fighters that ask me advice about business. Mike Chandler is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Is a guy that
My
you
guy,
would know.
my friend here.
He was at my home recently for a couple of days. I've been to his home before, and
Nice.
fantastic man, great man. And he'd ask me different things about business or investing, and a lot of the guys do that. It's what they want to know from me, and I want to know about fighting, and they want to know about business, so it's good. But I think it's the biggest gift that like a fighter has that you must have that in your head already. That I mean, you couldn't be a top performer if every time you get in the ring you're scared and panicked, and there might be some level of I'm not saying that you're entirely fearless. That you realize the risk that you're fighting another tough
Yes.
man and something bad might happen. But you can't be in a panic about it. You just have to rely on your training, be calm,
Do
be focused.
the word that I use to describe that, it's I accept all that. Like whenever I'm going to a fight, just like you said, I'm fighting another guy that is good as me, maybe better on a couple of certain things. I'm better in other things, and we're both on the same mission. So if you start going into that type of mentality, that type of feelings, it's gonna get freaking hard. Like, man, the guy's danger, and then it goes to a certain way. But whenever I accept, okay, we go into a fight, I might get hurt, he might get hurt. It is what it is. Don't take that as a personal feeling. I accept it. Okay, I might get hurt. No problem. We going. And then whenever I accept, and I've been sometimes in the middle of the fight. It's freaking chaos. I remember the last fight with Wonder Boy. Second round was like chaos. Like, and I hear my coach saying something, and I hear his coach saying something. And just like you said on Francis Ngannou fight, people booing, they want more action. And the guy was dangerous, gotta watch out with this guy. And the guy gave me a freaking spinning kick on the back of my head. And I remember clear, like I remember on the slow motion, my little leg gets a little numb. And I buckled down on my knee and I got back up. And I like, oh, there was a little flash down. And I put my hands up and then, oh shit, he's coming. And okay, stay calm, relax, see everything. But the way I'm describing to you is the way it's going live. A lot of noise and then stay down, get closer, he's gonna come. And whenever he comes, and then he comes he's very smart, stand-up fighter. So he tried to open up little things to throw a big open shot. Whenever I was close, he just touched me a little bit. It was like a flick shot, it wasn't a hard shot.
He's putting out those feelers.
Yeah, and then I was whenever he flicks me a little bit, and then I say, I was so like, I was waiting for a hard punching, there was a little flick. I'm like, okay, that doesn't hurt. Now I'm back on my stride. I'm back on my. But those little thoughts are like, people have no idea how much of a chaos I was in, but I was able to keep the calm. I think you get related to that on the business. Sometimes it's a crazy proposal, a crazy investment that you gotta do, but you gotta be with no feelings going to that, right?
I buy boring things. I don't I don't care what the new trendy shit is. I just don't care. I like to buy things that I can understand them. I understand how the business works. I understand under what circumstances the business is going to do better and the stock is going up. Under what would have to happen for things to be bad and the stock is going down. And I want to understand the variables. And there's nothing mystical about this. It's like the same way that you know jiu-jitsu, that you know every little detail. You know little detail, boop, boop, boop. I just look at business like that, and it's not mystical. It's something that a person could understand if they take the time to learn, If I spend 2 years training with you jiu-jitsu, I'd be getting pretty fucking good.
Yes,
I'm not going to be the world champion, but if I came, I did the work, I paid attention, I listened to what you showed me, we do the thing, I practice the thing alone, I practice some more, I'm going to get pretty good.
Yes.
If I spend 2 years teaching you, about stocks or about business, you're going to get pretty good. So there's nothing out there that another person couldn't learn.
Yeah, I believe
but most
so
people,
too.
they would never do the work. They would never do the work. So I think, what you said in there about, I accept that acceptance thing that you said. So I accept, when I buy something, I believe it's going to do very well, in 6 months, maybe in 3 years, depends how I'm thinking about it. But a normal stock I would buy, I'm not buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. I'm buying something and probably I'm going to own it 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years. And I want to buy something that people don't like it right now. I think it's valuable. The world says it's no good. It's no good anymore. So I want to buy it down here. And then sometime it gets back to, fair value. And then hopefully sometimes the world, they think the opposite. Say, oh, we got to have that now. We got to
help. And
I want to sell it then.
Right? That happens a lot, right?
It happens. And there's not, what? People have been talking about it. Warren Buffett's, Warren Buffett.
Yes.
His main mentor was a man named Benjamin Graham. He talked about some of these things, 100 years ago almost. He wrote a book called The Rational Investor. He says that a rational investor, you buy things when they're out of favor. You buy things that from pessimists, excuse me. You buy things from pessimists, people they think, oh, that's no good. And then the market changes over time, and then you sell it to somebody who's like, oh, they want to pay too much, And then you sit on the money and you wait for the people to be crazy again. And so when everybody else is scared, my favorite time to buy stocks is when people are on TV the headlines are bad, bad, bad. TV, everything bad, bad, bad. I'm like, oh, great. I'm excited. I can't sleep. I'm just up reading numbers, reading financial statements. And I spent 9 years in university doing, learning this. Literally, like how you're thinking about jujitsu, like all the time it's in your head. Yeah.
I can call you obsessed with business.
I haven't taken a day off. I don't know when I took a day off. Not in the last decade.
That's me.
Not in the last 10 years. There's not a time that I didn't work 6 hours or something,
Same.
So it doesn't feel like work, though. It's like...
It doesn't feel like work. And what do you do? Like, I mean, when you do jiu-jitsu, it's a little bit escape, right? What else you do that you have the little escape that you're not thinking business, or you even when you're doing?
I'm just thinking about it always. I'm thinking about it now while we're talking. While we're talking about some aspects in my head, I'm thinking about
it transfer, right? He said that.
Yeah. No, there's not a time where I can learn new things too. Like these things are burned in my head. So just like you train jujitsu, and then you can learn more about striking. You could learn boxing type striking or kickboxing or Muay Thai. You learn new things, or you can learn about business too. Like it's not the only thing you can do in life. But that's the thing that's always in the background of my head. That so I dream about it. When I wake up, I'm thinking about, before I wake up, I think, what am I going to accomplish today?
Nice.
Before I go to bed, I'm thinking, what are my 3 big goals for tomorrow? What are the 3 things first 3 things I have to do that when I wake up, I'm doing, one of them is always about money. Always is, what's my best financial opportunity tomorrow? Number 1. And number 2 is, what's my biggest investment I could make in like relationships, friendships, a high quality person that I should be spending time with them, or help them solve a problem, or make myself useful to them in some way. Not because I need anything, but because someday in the future, if I call that person, they're going to be happy to talk to me, They're going to be happy to help me with something. Maybe I just want a little piece of advice from them. Maybe whatever it is that I know they're going to be happy to talk with me in the future, And then whatever the third thing, or just whatever is important at that time. But it's always about business, about relationships, and then whatever seems important. And when I wake up in the morning, I don't jump up and go do random shit.
Whatever, yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I think, are those still the 3 most important things?
So you have a plan.
What could I do better? What could be even better? And then after I answer that questions, then I get up and I just go do that. And that's what we're doing today, So a lot of people, they don't have any plan. They just think they're just doing some random shit.
I kind of saw that one time in Brazil. One of the, I think it's Paulo Coelho, one of the big guys in Brazil, and then he said just like that, but in other words, you need to have a plan, right? Like, especially nowadays, easier, I do believe, with the access that we have, internet and everything, it's easier. And right, if you just get a freaking a truck for a guy, I need that truck in California, and the guy just super excited, get the truck and go with no plan, with nothing, he might get that, but it might take so long, right? But if you do get a GPS, a map, stations, I'm gonna stop here, gotta put that much gas, it's the same. I made a lot of mistakes until I kind of understand it. Okay, that's the way. But I remember in the beginning, even with the jiu-jitsu back in the days in Brazil, whenever it was a very hard time for me, I remember I started like making strategy, like learning the ways. What my question was at that time, I was, I think 18, 19, that I asked myself, I didn't train good one day. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel a lot of energy. And most of the time I have a lot of energy, a ton of energy, good cardio. And I remember that I asked myself, what did I eat today? And I started making the notes. And I remember like I had a freaking bad food, like I don't remember. And then, okay, what I'm gonna freaking try. What's the food that might give me energy to train? And then I start trying like sweet potato. Sweet potato was good. Let me try yuca. Oh, yuca is good. Let me try yummy. Yummy was good. And then I was kind of making a little plan. What is the food that was giving me energy before training? Then what is the food that gave me energy after training? And I was kind of like making a plan. What can I do to help me to get better? And then I said, okay, stretching, jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna make a little judo. I'm gonna make a little wrestling. I'm gonna stretch more. And I started kind of by myself, kind of developing a little plan. And the crazy thing, I'm making opposite you. I remember I don't think I have anymore, but I used to have those notes at the house, and I have another note. And what is not going to be good for me? What I should avoid? And I say, okay, sleep. I cannot sleep too late. I remember I cannot eat a lot of sugar. I cannot do these. And I had a strategy to don't do the bad things. And then, okay, first rule was don't bring a lot of sugars at home. If I don't have a lot of sugar at home, I'm not gonna eat at home. If I don't stay back in the days, it wasn't even a phone. It was MSN. I remember that. You remember that the messenger? I had the messenger. Okay, I'm gonna put an alarm 10 o'clock. I gotta turn down the messenger and go to sleep. I gotta sleep early, and I always had the plans to don't go bad. You know what I mean? Like the things that I shouldn't do, how to avoid. And that was my first thing doing notes. And then whenever I was getting better, okay, conquer a couple things, getting better, getting good in jiu-jitsu. And then Vitor Belfort was a guy that I learned so much, how to take care of my body, how to be a little bit more professional. And whenever I got in the UFC, I got very good. I was 7-0, then I became 10-0, have a good hype on me, but then I lost, lost, and then I was learning. And then I knew I need to change a lot of things to go to the next level. I think the mind's just the same thing that you say. I'm thinking that 24/7, 24, 24/7, 365, 365, like it doesn't stop. Like,
You know, the worst time in my life, related to what you're saying, I love what you just said. And the worst time in my life when I was a child, you know, like not 8, 9, 10, 11, you know, through maybe 17, you know, like that 10 years in there that my brain, it worked good. I have a pretty smart guy. And I was willing to work. I wanted to work. I wanted to do hard things. But I didn't know what the do, man. But my dad wasn't there. My dad was in prison, so he was in prison for cocaine trafficking. He's selling drugs. He's the largest cocaine trafficker in my county's history at that time. So then he's in the newspaper. Then you go to school, and kids are saying, you know,
the bully.
So then I got to deal with things at school, and then my mother was not good, was not a good time. So I really felt very alone. And, you know, I didn't like that, but I was okay with that. But I knew I hated the fucking situation enough that I'm like, I want to make things better.
You gotta do something.
I didn't know what to do. And that was the most frustrating time in my life. That then you have to do this guess and check, like you say. It's like, so you look around the people around me and like, all right, who's doing good? Who's getting the type of results I would like to have? What are they doing, you know?
Copy these guys, you gotta do something. Yeah.
And who are the people that I don't want to be like that when I'm older, you know? So you look around the environment and be like, all right, I shouldn't use heroin, you know? Heroin, not good. Smoking crack, no good, you know? So you see things that were really bad that you're like, all right, not doing that. I'm not doing that, you know? But I just didn't have good role models. I was willing to work hard, you know? Yeah. But I had to do some of this guess and check, you know, like go try some shit and see what happens. Yeah. And try some different shit and see what happens.
Shit, that doesn't work. Yeah.
You know, I have two thoughts about it. I think it was the most frustrating or psychologically painful time in my life where I just like, and you know, I'd be in trouble in school all the time, you know, kicked out for fighting or talking with the teachers, you know, talking shit, and I'd always be kicked out of school. And some of those times, you know, it helped me be strong later, or helped me be calm later. I'm like, nothing more is going to happen in my life. Yeah. Nothing. If I died now, if whatever terrible thing might happen to me, I'm never going to have bad emotions like I had at that time. You know, that's already done from my life. So there's a calmness about that. But then I worked so hard. I wanted to go, you know, have a better teacher, a better coach, better mentor, somebody to show me, yeah, go here, you dumbass. You know, like stop that shit, go do this. You know. And that's not free, you know. That's not easy. That you said too. That like, how can I get some help? And about the time you get to that part, like, be smart enough to be like, hey, there's other people doing good. If I had one of those people to help me on my way, you could do a little bit better. And then maybe you earn an even better teacher or a better mentor, a better coach. You can do a little bit better. And maybe you built yourself up that some of the top people, they say, oh, let me give this guy a chance, Let me try to help this person, The champion interview you just watched is just a tiny teaser from this champion's extended, full-length interview contained inside my comprehensive wealth building foundations course, The 10 Commandments of Wealth. Get inside the 10 Commandments of Wealth, and as a bonus, you get dozens of in-depth interviews with world champions just like this. Leave a comment if you want a business or success question answered, and subscribe for even more winning.